Okay, actions recording. All
Let's get
right.
it.
All right. So I got my man Drew Titan here, Bronx on deck. Is it move?
Hashtag move.
Hashtag move.
That's right.
So real quick, let's give yourself an introduction because you got a lot of different hats that you wear as far as what you do as far as boxing and training and motivation. So the floor is yours right now. Then we're gonna get into this.
Yes, sir. I am Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Um, I don't want to call myself a motivational speaker, because I'm just a motivated person.
Hmm.
You know, I set the tone. You follow the lead if you can keep up.
I like that.
If
I
you're not,
like that.
you know what I'm saying. If you can't keep up, I'm gonna help you, but you got to
Nah,
help yourself. You got to help yourself.
I like that.
Um,
I like that.
you know, boxing is life. You know, I
Hmm.
love boxing. Everything that goes on in the ring, as far as training leading up to a fight and executing in the fight, is relatable to life. You know, look at the Rocky movie, the famous scene when he was talking to his son. He said, you know, life is not about getting hit; it's about how you react when you get hit,
Mm.
and can you keep going. And that's why I've always known that. You know, so boxing is life. It's relatable. I grew up in and out of gyms. You know, never went pro, never went amateur, but I've sparred a bunch of rounds.
Hmm.
I know the ring inside and out. I didn't take it seriously as far as you know, the amateurs, anything like that, because my mama wouldn't let me. Mama wouldn't let me, but I love the sport. I'm very familiar. I could take care of myself in the ring. I may have missed my calling, I don't know, but I love to train.
Yeah.
You know, I love to train.
All
You
right.
know, yeah, I love to train. You know, I'm just high on life right now. You know, I love boxing.
Hmm.
Um, I love working out, and I love my people. You know,
Yeah.
you guys give me a hard way to go sometimes, but I love my people, man. I love my people.
Yeah, man. So
Yes, sir.
that's a good segue to go into to what the first topic I want to talk about is the Kwame Brown situation and how he just rapidly rose to like I guess like a YouTube stardom or just a voice now within a community that needed a voice. You know what I'm saying? Like I said on my other video that I compare Kwame Brown's new rise, fast rise, and Kevin Samuels too, to Donald Trump. Like he's not our voice, but he was a voice for somebody who needed a voice, and people needed to hear that and hear what he was saying, and hear it just coming out and just so relatable. You know what I'm saying? I think Kwame Brown is that, and Kevin Samuels is that as well. Like this new, because it's like it feel like they trying to dumb down men and trying to say like you can't be a man, but these people are trying to give you real man game, and it's like now people try to combat it. You know what I'm saying? What do you feel about what's going on so far with it? Have you been paying
But
attention to it?
well, I did. You know why I paid attention to it, and this is the unfortunate. Well, you know the old saying, "Take lemons and make lemonade."
Right.
Um, what's unfortunate today is that the negative rhetoric in life is amplified by a megaphone that we just don't see. That megaphone is social media.
Yeah.
You know, I, of course, I knew who Kwame Brown is because I watch ball.
Hmm.
So, and I'm on social media, and next thing you know, his face is popping up all over the place, and I'm like, what did he do? First of all, when you see his face, I'm like, I hope he ain't dead. I hope he ain't strung out on drugs. I hope he ain't
Yeah.
beat no woman. I hope he ain't getting no arrest. I hope he ain't get shot by no cop. You know what's
Yeah.
going on? And to my surprise, I find out that he's going back and forth with two brothers that I liked watching in the NBA, Captain Jack and Matt Barnes. So
Right.
I'm like, why is he going back and forth with them? And I found out. Now it got amplified because we as people, we are attracted to drama.
Yeah. Like a
We're
moth to a
attracted to
flame. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it's disgusting. But it was in my face so much that I couldn't like ignore it.
Right.
And when I did my due diligence, it didn't take that much to figure out what was going on. Now, here's why I say about making lemons, taking lemons and making lemonade. Better analogy, judo. You're
Mhm.
familiar with judo. Everyone knows what judo
Yeah.
is. All judo is using the other one's momentum against themselves. So you
Mhm.
have a guy that's 115 pounds flip a guy that's 300 pounds coming at him. All right. So that's all Kwame Brown did.
Yeah.
They, I actually forgot how the beef started, but they said something. What happened was I saw Captain Jack's response, and I
Okay.
sat through the whole 20-minute video, and I'm like, what did Kwame do really? Because I'm
Yeah.
still not clear on what he did. I think basically what I got, and you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
they clowned him about being a bust,
Yeah.
number one draft pick or something. They clowned him, and he responded, and it's been going back and forth ever since. But he put up a meme. I think he put up a meme, or someone put up a meme and quoted him. He said, "You call me a bust, right?
Mhm.
But you call Scalabrine,
I posted that.
Scalabrine
That's what's
a
my
white
post.
mamba."
Yeah, I put that up. I put that on
You put that
Instagram.
up, right?
Yeah, I put that up. Yep.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I said, that's true. Brian Scalabrine. You know,
Mhm.
I don't remember what pick he was in the draft. I remember, I'm a Bulls fan. I know that's blasphemous because I'm from New York, but it's crazy how I became a Bulls fan, but whatever. And they ain't got nothing to do with Jordan. Don't go there. I've been rooting for that team since I was 8 years old, 1983. It's just a funny, weird story, and we'll discuss that at another time.
Yeah.
All right. But I remember he was in Chi-Town, and every time he touched the ball, the crowd went crazy. And I said, well, I mean, is it that serious? But he made that statement, and I said, that's true. But why are they attacking him? Because they clowning him?
All
Sometimes,
right.
as an athlete,
So
yeah,
this
go ahead.
this this how it happened. They had Jeannie Buss on the show, right? And when Jeannie Buss was on the show, they talk about the trade, how they got Pau Gasol, and I think they traded Marc Gasol and Kwame Brown for Pau Gasol to the Grizzlies. And when they did that, she mentioned Kwame Brown, and they were saying they just saying Mark. They kept like saying Kwame Brown wasn't a person. They kept saying oh Marcus Gasol, Marcus Gasol, Marcus Gasol. They're not saying Kwame Brown's name. So that was the first thing. Then the following week on the show, they had Gilbert Arenas, and Gilbert Arenas told a story about Kwame. And when he told the story, they were just saying like how he's a bust, whatever. So these 2 weeks in a row they talked about this man. It wasn't like one little drop. They did 2 weeks in a row, and they was like really going extensive, making sure they get their point across to keep talking about him. So they like went out their way to talk about Kwame Brown for whatever reason.
I don't think that's funny. And as an athlete, because I now that you mentioned that, you see, Steve Jackson was like a very low pick,
Yeah.
but people, you could say that he had a better career. Fine, fine, if that's what you want to say. All right,
Hmm.
fine, 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 fine. You know, great ball player. Um, but as an athlete, you should understand what your alumni goes through.
Yeah.
You
And that's what
understand? And
Kwame was saying. And it's like different. Like say we could segue later to it, but like Stephen A. Smith, how he trolled Kwame Brown for so many years. He's not an athlete. He's just part of a corporate machine where they gotta basically tear men down. Like I'm saying, they tearing people down in there, and they messing up people's contracts or whatever. Like what they doing with Wilder. You know what I'm saying? They trying to tell him he don't deserve to fight because he need to step away. When I heard that, I said, "Come on, man!" Like, but
listen, I went off on Stephen A. And
yeah,
I might go. I might go off again before I go to bed tonight because I ain't done with him. I ain't done with him. But we'll segue into that in a
yeah.
minute.
So like, if you played in the league, you know what you go through. Not to mention him being 18, being drafted to Jordan, and he started, exposing how Jordan didn't want him on the team because Jordan was on his last run. Jordan won another ring with another team, and he wanted to trade Kwame Brown for Elton Brand. And if you look at that team, the team was a whole bunch of older players, and Kwame Brown's an 18-year-old kid coming out of South Carolina playing with Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan at the end of his career being a dickhead to him. So it was like, at an 18-year-old kid, you fresh out of high school, you don't like
You don't
that's
know any
that's a lot
better,
to
man.
endure.
He's not even old enough to drink.
No, he's not.
He's an
No.
18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
First of all, for him to get to that point, he was out bowling everybody in the United States.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the kid, he didn't even get his man strength yet.
No.
So you would think 18 years old, you got to nurture that kid, man.
Right.
You got to nurture that kid. You don't beat him up.
No.
Start straight throwing a bunch of money at him and start. I don't even know if he had and that's another thing, man. A lot of these young players, they need financial guidance. They need to provide classes for that, or that's another
Yeah.
topic. You know, he's a kid. He was a kid,
Yep.
and now he's a grown man, and he recognized what's going on. And I'm sure you can't turn back the hands of time, but I'm sure he looks back and says, you know what, I could have did this different. I could have
Mm-hmm.
handled that different. I could have played a little different, whatever.
Yeah.
But I believe in the laws of the universe. You can call it religion, whatever you want to call it. But good or bad, you get what you put out.
Yep.
And the kid in my seeing, I don't know him, of course. On the outside looking in, he hasn't done any wrong. But what the most interesting part about that is the public reaction, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people stuck up for him.
Yeah.
They stood up for him, and they say, "Yo, look, man, you guys are wrong. You guys
Yep.
are wrong about him. What we call old media is wrong." I
Yeah.
remember when Stephen A. Smith used to trash this guy,
Yeah.
and it was like, if a guy's not playing well, fine. But the way Stephen A goes in, that's why he makes millions of dollars a year,
Yep.
because they pay him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm going to get to him in a minute. I'm going to show you. Remind me to pick up on what I just said, because that attitude is not going to get him far with these athletes. It's
No.
not, because now you got Kwame on your bumper,
Yeah.
and he's not going to get up. Now, judo, lemons to lemonade. I didn't know that Kwame Brown had an active YouTube channel. I had no idea
Yep.
until 2 days ago. I was just scrolling down on YouTube and I see him there. And I'm like, that says his name. So I
Mm-hmm.
clicked on the video. He's on the live stream with Judge Joe Brown. 34,000 people in the chat
Yep.
watching, eyes on him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me explain why that's so important. That's money.
Yeah.
That's money. That's YouTube, what we call YouTube money. But
Yep.
there's something called Google AdSense. And when you have a certain amount of watch hours and you have passed 1,000 subs, you get what they call monetized.
Mm-hmm.
And you get invited into the Google AdSense program. And I'm not going to get into the mechanics behind it. Just know that the more eyes that are on your product, which is you get paid, because people want to advertise, because you're a hot channel and they want to advertise on it. Like the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, you see the best commercials in the world when? On Super Bowl
Super
day,
Bowl.
Super Bowl Sunday, during the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yep.
So when you're a hot topic on YouTube, all the people want to throw ads on you in your
Mm-hmm.
channel, and they pay you for that. So every live stream you do, every short video you do will net you dividends. So all I saw Kwame Brown do was respond, and he took the negativity and it catapulted him. I didn't know the man had a channel. I went and I saw him talking to Joe Brown, and they were kicking some stuff, and I subscribed.
Yeah.
40,000, 34,000 people in his live stream looking at
Mm-hmm.
him. They thank you, Captain Jack. You know, where he was a bust on a basketball court.
Yeah.
Now he's a full-time YouTuber, and now you got people looking at him to see what he says next.
Yeah.
So y'all really helped him.
And like the
Y'all
lemons to
really did.
lemonade thing, like you were saying, he takes that controversy and beef and he draws people in with it. Then after that, what he does is he has real game on there, and he just talks some real game. And like I listen to him like, damn, yo, he's really on one. And with the things that he's saying, and it's things that I could relate to as an adult. You know what I'm saying? Especially moving a certain mindset that way. I don't want to be a victim or nothing like that. And I see what things that he's saying. I'm like, yeah, I can understand what he's saying. Why he's saying that? Like, he's getting at other people besides Quan. I mean, besides Steven Jackson, Charlemagne, and Matt Barnes, and he getting at Dr. Boyce Watkins, and what he did with him was very interesting. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
No, I didn't.
All right, so what he did was he did a live, right? And in the live, he put the N word in the caption. So Dr. Boyce Watkins went on live to talk about Kwame Brown's live and like, listen, you can't put that in your captions. That's how they demonetize you. And what Kwame Brown said was, why you going on YouTube giving out the game to get me kicked off instead of coming to me? It's like, yo, if you really want to be a part of what I'm doing, why you just come to me on the side? Like, listen, you should take that down, or reach out to somebody who could reach out. Everybody knows somebody from 6 degrees of separation where a message could get to you, and it's very easy now. Like, messages get to me from people I didn't even realize they knew who I was. You know what I'm saying, on Instagram.
Happens every day, man.
Yeah, so it was
Happens.
like it's a way to get to people, especially somebody like Dr. Boyce Watkins with a crazy following. He just went on live and gave the game on how that goes, how they could take you off, but at the same time, you giving somebody else the game of that's how you take him off if you don't like what he's saying.
Right.
Then
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Dr. Boyce Watkins was on the Breakfast Club a few times, so you don't know if they got a relationship with Charlemagne. Everything kind of ties in together of the people who's getting at him. Then you look at somebody like I think Charlemagne got ties in with All the Smoke podcast. Like he got some type of partnership with that. So when Charlemagne was getting at Kwame Brown, or just bringing up Kwame Brown family history, then you see that they got a whole type of connection. It's like a little web of connection of people who's saying things to him, but they all connected somehow. It's crazy. It's like a
How
crazy
how
situation.
how, how fast does Charlemagne backtrack on what he said though? Like what, 48
Um,
hours?
nah, I think about 4 days because the first thing Charlemagne he said what he said. Then then what you call it came out allegedly called him a rapist. Kwame Brown called him a rapist, right? And he has like a case or whatever where he was found guilty for like a delinquency of a minor. And what Charlemagne did was send a cease and desist letter, like you can't speak about this because I'm not found guilty of it. So once he did that, he didn't call him a rapist no more. He just called him Mr. Get Away with It, or he called him he called him Mr. Cease and he called him Mr. Delinquency of a minor. And he said, "What are you 22 years old with a 15-year-old girl, and now she's saying that she got raped?" You know what I'm saying? Like what that doesn't add up. So he was just talking about that. And once he mentioned that the cease and desist letter didn't work, then that's when Charlemagne came out with the apology.
Also, word on the street is Kwame's family is really connected.
Yeah, I believe it.
I heard that. So I there's no doubt in my mind, Charlemagne got family in the South.
Yep.
And you know,
They from the same. I think from what I understand, Charlemagne went to school with Corey Brown's sister, so they
yeah,
close.
that's what I heard. I heard something
Yeah.
about that. And Charlemagne can, get touched. There's a video, I don't know if you remember, it was a few years ago, about a decade ago, where
Hmm.
he was coming out and some dudes got at him and he
Yeah. Me and
got
my girl were
away.
just talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it got to be on YouTube because
Hmm.
I remember when that. You know how I found out it because I'm in New York
Yeah.
and I was listening to Funk back when I used to listen to the radio. I was listening to Funk Flex one night and he just got on his show laughing uncontrollably, and I'm like, "What's he laughing at?"
Hmm.
He started laughing. He could like for 20 minutes, and he's like, "Yo, man, they tried to jump Charlemagne. I don't know if they caught him." And I said, "What is he talking about?" And the video came out. I said, "Oh man, they really tried to like do him in," and he got away. And then for a while, he was walking around with security from the Nation of Islam,
Yeah.
you know. But you don't want to go through that, especially when you go back home.
Yeah. Especially you got people at
You-
home who don't got security nation of Islam protecting them.
right. So
So
I don't. I think he needed a nice hot cup of shut the f up, and I think he felt that. I personally think that he got a phone call. That I can't confirm any of that, but
he
I
said it.
think that he got a.
But he said
Oh,
he
he
got
did.
phone calls from like people in South
Phone call.
Carolina, but he didn't say
Okay.
who. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably either telling him, "Yo, you need to chill," or "Bro, when you get home," you know what I'm saying? Might have been that. So I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't know, but
Yeah.
sometimes people take this radio stuff too far,
Yeah.
and I think he understood that. He did say he understood that, and you're right. The relationship that he has, it is a coincidental circle.
Yeah.
It's a circle,
Yep.
and Kwame Brown stood on his square. He fought back, and it's actually netting him dividends right now. And
Hmm.
shout out to the brother, man, because
Yeah.
I never liked how he was attacked, even when he was an active player. I was like, this
Yeah.
is unfair. He's an 18-year-old child, man.
Yep.
Instead of somebody winging him and saying, look, young brother, this is how you do this, do that, do this, do that.
Hmm.
Because I think LeBron James came out that age, but LeBron James is different.
Yeah.
LeBron James is different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats. Kevin Garnett came out when he was 18.
but Kwame Brown's the first
Wait,
number one draft pick out of 18. I mean,
at 18 was
he's the first number one draft pick out of high school. Is Kwame Brown.
right.
Then the second was LeBron.
So
Yeah,
I mean, he's treated unfairly, but I like how he handled it. I
yeah,
really do. I really like how he handled it. And a lot of people, I don't know I don't know the exact number, but a lot of people turned on Matt Barnes and Captain Jack. He clowned Matt Barnes with the Derek Fisher situation. That was
yeah.
hilarious.
Hmm.
That was crazy, but it was unwarranted. And now look what you did.
Yeah, but
But I'm happy.
I respect Captain Jack for apologizing. He did apologize. You know, what I'm saying they
Oh, he
squashed their
did.
beef. They squashed their beef. Him and Matt Barnes did not squash the beef because basically Matt Barnes told him to SMD. So
All right.
after he did that, man, he's like, "Yo, I want to." Like he's basically saying like, "Yo, I want to see this man now. Like I want to see. You don't do that.
All right. Well,
You
they
know,
can
grown
call up
men. You don't do that to grown men."
they can call Triller and scrap if it's that serious. I mean, I don't want it to go to that.
Yeah,
They're ball players. They ain't fighters. They don't have
yeah,
to go to that. If they don't need to speak on each other no more. Just it is what it is. Y'all
hmm,
live in two different states. The probability of y'all being at the same function is low. And I
yeah,
don't want anyone with deep pockets throwing some party and a celebrity throwing some party and trying to invite them so they can be in the same vicinity just so you can
hmm,
get some Instagram hits, some
yep. Some
YouTube hits.
entertainment. Yeah.
Don't do it, but I have faith that Kwame, he's not a sucker, but he's also not stupid.
No, he's not. That's what I like
You
about
know,
his
yeah,
platform because
there's
he,
someone else, out of nowhere, because he's been off the radar for a long time. And if he
yeah,
starts getting these invites to these parties, yo, man, come do a guest appearance, da 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 da. There's gonna be celebrities there. Yeah, who's gonna be there?
yeah,
Tell me exactly who's gonna be there. Is Matt Barnes gonna be there? Oh yeah, he's invited. Tell the truth. He's invited. Y'all go ahead.
hmm,
Avoid all conflict. If that don't make you a sucker, that makes you a man.
yeah,
That makes you a man avoiding conflict.
yep.
I deal with that all the time. Conflict resolution.
Hmm. But now let's get into the other part of the Kwame Brown situation and Stephen A. Smith about it.
Can we call him Stephen A. Snitch? Because I have nothing for this guy. I have no respect for this guy. Um, my thing with Stephen A. Snitch is that, first of all, humble beginnings.
Hmm.
All right. This guy has turned into a corporate fraud.
Yeah,
And I tried to rock with him. I really did.
we all
Because he's
did.
black.
We all. He
Yeah.
black. He from New York. He from Queens. So like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But he overdone, everybody that looks at him that's not from New York, newsflash, we don't act that way. I'm from the Bronx. But nobody in the five boroughs acts that way. No black person, no Latino, no white person. We don't act that way. That's a gimmick. Though his posture, how he talks.
I'm trying to think like, since you said the five, I'm thinking of Westchester. I'm thinking upstate New York. I'm thinking, I'm
Yeah,
from Long Island. People
listen,
don't act like that.
nobody, no, nobody. They look at him and they hoped, well, they needed somebody to get in touch with the black and brown audience. And it
Hmm.
worked for a little while because I did support him because of his ethnicity. I'm not ashamed to
Because
say it.
they had before Stephen A. Smith was
Stuart,
Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott.
He's the real brother. He ain't do all of that shucking and jiving because that's what he
Nah.
does.
Yeah.
He ain't doing the shucking and jiving, but Stuart Scott was in touch. He let us know that he's in touch because I used to watch him on Sports Center, he used to make a lot of hip hop references.
Yep.
It was very subtle and underrated. I'm like, oh man, I heard that. He made reference
Hmm.
to the Wu-Tang Clan, a Nas.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, and he didn't OD like Stephen A. Smith. Oh no, you can't just do that. And I'm like, yo, calm down, dude.
Yeah.
That's a gimmick. That's all a gimmick. Yo, listen, we don't talk like that. We don't talk like that. I don't know in any city where they talk like that. He's just an amped up black man. That's
Yeah.
all he is. It's all shtick. Stephen A. Smith is all shtick. All
Yeah.
right. Now, as it applies to the Kwame Brown situation, all I know is that you're a sports analyst. You may have played some sports. I don't know how good you are. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I am saying is you've gone overboard to the point where you had a former athlete. Well, he's still an athlete. At the end of the day, Kwame Brown is well over 200 pounds and about 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, Steven, he'll slap you into 2022. He'll slap you into the future.
Yeah.
Stop playing with these dudes, man. Stop playing with these dudes. When I talk about fighters, all right, you gotta, when I call a fighter a bum, here's the disclaimer. That fighter is a bum in comparison to his rivals in his weight division.
Right.
Okay? There's no way a pipsqueak that weighs 115 pounds can call a heavyweight fighter ranked number 20 a bum, because that fighter will kick his ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm clear when I say, okay, this guy's a bum. Okay, you got this guy who's ranked number 1, this guy number 3, this guy's ranked number 2, but due to the rankings, this guy that should be number 18 is ranked number 5 in the IBF or something crazy. So he's
Yeah.
a bum in comparison to everybody else. He's a bum.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could whoop him. I'm saying he's a bum in comparison to his competition. So Stephen A. Snitch, when you talk reckless about these athletes, when you go, I remember how you used to talk about Mike Olowokandi.
Yep.
And I remember him saying, God, he just can't play. He cannot play the game. I'm like, yo, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Stop that. Listen, man, we look at athletes, the guys that make Sports Center. Not everybody's special like LeBron or Steph Curry. Even the guys that ride the bench, 6-man awards. Those guys are pretty secure in their job.
Yeah.
All right. What you don't see are the guys that are on the bench or on injured reserve, and they're in the $1,000 Versace suits at the end of the bench. What you're not hearing is their thoughts. Yo, what are they going to do with me next year?
Yep.
I mean, they cut me a $900,000 check, but I just bought my house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the gas is due next week. I got a baby on the way. I'm 22 years old. They told me I'm going to the D League. I just bought a car. I
Yep.
can't go back to the hood because everyone thinks I'm rich.
Yep.
They breaking in the house. They breaking into the old apartment. They're dealing with all this stress just for you to get on Sports Center and talk bad about them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unwarranted. All they did was miss a free throw.
Yeah.
This is what they go through. So they're professional enough to ignore you. They're professional enough to ignore you. But then when you bully them, is how much of that is you, Stephen A. Smith, and how much of that is your boss?
Yeah.
See, I expect that horrible behavior from a fan throwing popcorn because fans get in their feelings. But you see, I understood Ron Artest speaking of Queens.
Yeah.
I understood Ron Artest when that fan threw, I think it was a soda at him or something.
Yep.
Landed on his chest. He lost it. That was the last person, because Ron Artest is a few French fries short of a Happy Meal by his own admittance.
Mm-hmm.
So you threw something on him and he lost it. He ran up in the stands, and I watched that game live, the Pacers versus the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it live. And those fans remember the short little fat dude that ran on the
Yeah.
court? And Jermaine O'Neal knocked him out.
Yeah.
Knocked him out. All right. At the end of the day, Jermaine O'Neal, I met Jermaine O'Neal in Miami. The man is 6'11". I'm 6'2". 6'11" is tall, man.
Tall.
And he was punching downwards. He knocked that little fat boy on the floor. I said, "Oh God, why was you on the floor? Why was you even doing it? Come on, stop!" And it turned into a big thing.
And the crazy
NBA.
part is, I want to segue to this part because what you said about the fan and Ron Artest. So Stephen A. Smith told, like, Kyrie Irving said he felt in the way about playing in Boston, right? He said, Boston fans are racist. Then Stephen A. Smith tells Kyrie Irving, like, yo, the fans aren't racist. You can't make everything about race. Now, fast forward. I don't know if you heard that or not. And also, too, I don't know if you heard what he said about LeBron James and the COVID shot. So,
Please go ahead.
yeah, so LeBron James never came out till he got the COVID shot. LeBron James never came out and spoke about COVID and not like that. So Stephen A. Smith was on CNN now saying, oh, why LeBron is not speaking about the COVID shot. Him and Don Lemon together now saying that LeBron James needs to speak about it. He need to be an advocate. He need to get the shot and let people know he got the shot because a lot of people follow LeBron James. LeBron James, what was the term he said? LeBron James LeBron James speak about black issues, but he's not speaking about this. And that's very irresponsible on LeBron James. And I don't know if you remember, a few months ago, I made a video saying that that tweet that LeBron said about the cop was good for the NBA because of their ratings. They trying to get rid of LeBron. I'm telling you, trying to get rid of him. They trying to make someone else a face. If they go and
He
say
said the what was good for, he said the what was good for ratings.
no, I said that LeBron need not to be the face of the NBA no more because the ratings are low. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't like LeBron. And I said they should just look for somebody else. And a lot of people got at me for saying that. But now if you look what they're doing, they trying to make LeBron to be an enemy, like, oh, he's not getting a COVID shot. Oh, he going out to parties and not doing COVID protocol. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that now. I'm telling you, it all is crazy. And for Stephen A. Smith to go on CNN, mind you, CNN is owned by Turner and Stephen A. Smith works for ESPN. They both basically partners with the NBA. And they're trying to reach a different audience, going on CNN and talk about LeBron James getting a COVID shot.
Do you know um there's a party I believe in Vegas at a gentleman's club,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping I misread this because I saw it on Instagram and I couldn't. I meant to screenshot it, but I was doing something. They are, if you got your shot, your vaccination, you can get in for free.
Oh, they doing that all over the country now, stuff like that.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah.
If you got your vaccination shot, you get you get into a lotto where they draw $40,000 every day until July 3rd.
This is a lot of motivation to have people get a shot.
Yeah,
Um,
we were just talking about that, like right
I'm
before I
I'm
got on
not
with you.
I'm not against it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. My parents are my parents are vaccinated. My two aunts that are in their 80s are vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
I got vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
I also work for mass transit in New York. I'm around these people.
Yeah.
All right. And I waited as long as I could. People who took the shot, I want to see who dropped dead.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened. So I said, you know what, let me take it. So I
Yeah.
took it. All right. But that's my choice. All right. But you gotta understand, you gotta respect people's space. Because there are people that have a lot of detailed arguments, and it's very true. We remember the Tuskegee experiment.
Yep.
Remember that, and that's fresh in people's mind. And I don't care now. The this didn't only affect black people. This affected everyone worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in that case, it was a little different, just a little bit. However, um, you can't fault people of color for being cautious. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And to lean and to look to LeBron to be an advocate for it. They're not. Look, man, they want him to be an advocate for black people for that.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is this: any other time, y'all remember y'all let that white woman tell him to shut up and dribble?
Yep.
Where was Stephen A with that? Because now he's shutting up and dribbling.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now where's Stephen A with that? Why didn't he blow up on that white woman that said shut up and dribble? Shut up and dribble. Shut
Those
up and
are
dribble.
those are her words.
Roethlisberger is a rapist, and y'all shut up about that. Y'all sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Leyritz ran over former Yankee Jim Leyritz used to wear the cowboy hat, was a catcher for the Yankees. He ran over a family, killed them too. Y'all shut up on that.
What about the kicker for the Giants? Remember who's that
Oh,
guy?
I forget his name, but the dead silence,
Yeah,
dead silence. All right,
dude from the
dead silence.
Seahawks recently.
Him, yep, dead silence.
Yeah.
Beat up on a woman of color, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Dead, dead silence. But y'all want LeBron James to speak up on that and be an advocate for that. Well, let me share this with you, Stephen A. Snitch. All right. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, and you're on the wrong side of history. All right. And let me I can't like not talk boxing. I'm I'd like to say I'm pretty close to someone in the camp of Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's so bad with Steven that they said no. You're not invited into the locker room. In fact, go on to Tyson Fury's locker room and hang out over there where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
What you said about Deontay is unacceptable, and that's nothing that you should be saying, brother. All right. This is the first time in the history of mankind that I've seen a man win an arbitration against something that he was entitled to, an American champion, a former American champion at that,
Yeah.
And American media, Stephen A. Snitch, is mad that he won.
Yep.
Why are you mad that he won, Stephen? You're talking about, oh man, yo, you should just get out the way and let it happen. Forget about the rematch for now. That's just how it's done. No, how it's done is they deposit $8 million a year into your bank account, and they tell you what to say and how to act. They want you to act more jumpy and
Yep.
jittery with your New York accent. Stephen, let me tell you something. I can get on there and do your job. I
Mm.
can shuck and jive just as good, if not better than you, as long as they tell me what to say. And I look better than you too.
And the ill
I,
part about it, I don't know if you've seen his reply to Kwame Brown. So Kwame Brown been roasting him for like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. So he said, "Oh, I'm gonna say a reply to Kwame Brown on ESPN Plus." So you got to go behind the paywall to get his reply to Kwame Brown, right? So it got on YouTube and people were reposting it. And his reply to Kwame Brown was bloopers. Like, this is why I said what I said about you. They showed, I stopped watching it when they showed the clip of Kwame Brown missing free throw. I'm like, come on, fam. Everybody misses free throws. I was like, nah, I can't. I couldn't do it no more. Mm-mm.
they want to attack this young man for being 18 and getting into the NBA.
That's what Kwame Brown was saying. He said after him, that's when they started saying we can't have kids come out the NBA, come out of high school no more. You see what happened? Instead of developing him, helping make him become better, they came with the G League where they could
Look,
pay him pennies compared to other players
he
and just
had the
keep him around.
wrong leadership. He had the
Yeah.
wrong leadership. And
Yep.
that's what he's guilty of. He
Yep.
had the wrong leadership. That's what he's guilty of. And that's a sad state of affairs. How about this? Stephen A. Snitch, NBA, the people that was around Kwame the whole time. Y'all failed him
Yeah.
because he was a child. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
failed him. He was a child with $1 million in his pocket, and y'all failed him. Instead
Yep.
of mentoring him and nurturing him and showing him how to be great,
Mm-hmm.
y'all failed him. Y'all clowned him, and then he rode off into the sunset. I don't know what he's doing now, but you know what? He failed forward because he
Yeah.
doesn't look like he's starving.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has a successful social media,
Yeah.
and he's held. He stood his ground,
Yep.
and he's held his own against you, Mr. Stephen A. Snitch. You ought to be
Yep.
ashamed of yourself. I'm glad him and Captain Jack patched it up. Matt Barnes, they got some machismo thing going on. Hopefully they could work that out because I don't want
Yeah.
to see anybody come to blows. But Stephen A. Snitch, you're the oldest amongst all of them. And
Mm-hmm.
you should know better. You should know better, black man.
Yep.
You should have been there diffusing that behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You should be there diffusing the situation. But you didn't do that, Stephen A. Snitch, because what's more important to you? Your bottom line. The eyeballs on your whatever social media, your Twitter, your Instagram. I don't know. I don't follow you.
Yep.
Okay. But I did see you sit next to Andre Ward during the boxing program and you fell asleep and he had to nudge you to wake you up. It's on YouTube. I played it today on my show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't know ish about boxing. All right. I don't watch you for boxing. No one goes to ESPN to look for a boxing opinion. Not from you. They only look at the only person that can talk boxing sensibly is Andre Ward and Tim Bradley because they've actually been in the ring, but you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You failed. You failed this man, Kwame Brown. You shouldn't have that young man's name in your mouth.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself, man.
Yeah. Stephen A. Smith, he just something else, man. But like I said, the other thing, like with Kyrie Irving, what I'm saying, like how Kyrie Irving was like, I'm not going to, I feel away while playing in Boston because of the racism. You know what I'm saying? And I also put in my video how, the Boston racism. Bill Russell, when he retired, he had nobody in the stands because he said because the fans are too racist. Like if you go back, it's a picture like nobody in the stands, just him and his teammates and his coach.
Now, how
Was
many
retired.
rings did Bill Russell assist in getting the Celtics?
11?
I thought it was
11.
12. Was it
It
11?
it could be, is it 12 or 11? I think maybe Phil Jackson got 11, maybe Bill Russell got 12. I know Bill Russell, he might have got some ring because he was a player coach and he still won championships. I don't know if he got one
Now,
as a coach and a player those years.
all those years, that's 11 or 12 seasons in the league. He's
Of great.
retiring, getting his jersey hoisted to the rafters, and the people were there when they run it. When they won it, they were there to cheer. When they
Mm-hmm.
were retiring the guy that assisted that, their core beliefs prohibited them to show up to celebrate that man.
Well, he didn't want them to be there. I don't know if they wanted to be there, but he said he wanted nobody to be in the crowd.
Now, why would he say that? Because
He said because
there
they're
was a
racist.
lot of stuff, there
Yeah.
was a lot of stuff going on that's probably we would never know about unless we talk to him about.
Mm-hmm.
We probably got so many stories about stuff getting thrown at him or said or shouted at him,
Yep.
stuff in his locker. And if he said it, we probably wouldn't believe it, right? Because we're in
Mm-hmm.
the era of social media now. It didn't happen if we didn't see it on video. But then
Yeah.
again, when you do see it on video, depending on who it's happening to, whether
He,
you want to believe it or not is entirely up to you. Ain't that some strange stuff?
yep.
That is some strange stuff, man.
Yep.
So Kyrie Irving, I believe him. What is he scared of?
Yeah.
He's a ball player. He's the truth. So if he
Mm-hmm.
says, you know what, pump your brakes on Boston, I don't want to F around over there because they racist. Obviously, he went through something. So instead of asking him, Kyrie, what'd you go through? Tell me what you go through because I'm Stephen A. Snitch. People listen to me.
Yeah.
People listen. Oh, people listen to me. People listen to me. Tell me what happened, Kyrie. No, I'm sorry. ESPN don't want to air that. They don't want
Nah.
to air that, Stephen. See, you know what's sad? You see how Kwame Brown paved his own way?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he knew about YouTube money or whatever. And this ain't the platform to discuss that. But I mentioned the traffic going through his live stream for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Stephen A is his own man at this point, and I think he has enough of a following to where he can be his own machine.
He does
He-
definitely.
yeah, so he's a personality now. So fly from the nest, create your own path and discuss sports and also touch on black topics. But certain black people in positions like that, they're scared to touch on black topics because they're
Mm-hmm.
scared that it costs them money.
It
And my
will.
thing is, you need to get away from that. You need to get away from that. Let me touch on this, and this might be something on a for another topic, but it's relevant in the adult film industry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that white adult film actors and actresses make more money than the black ones.
Mm.
This is what I was told. And when the white ones mix it up with the black ones, they lose marketability.
Mm.
So a white chick can't go lay up with the black guy hung like a horse and go back to just doing the white guys because now they're tainted. Their sales will drop. I didn't know that. I was told that by someone in the adult industry. I
Mm.
said, is that's real? That's real. That's why a lot of those adult stars they made their own way and they have their own production. It's just like the
Yeah.
music industry.
Yep.
Why get a record deal when I can do better selling my stuff online? I don't need Arista or Sleeping Bag, whatever, Tommy Boy. I don't need none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I tell
Stephen
I,
A. Snitch,
I tell my son the same thing. He does music. I said, go independent. Say whatever you need, I'll fund it. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you go independent and do things on your own and learn the game than try to sign with somebody. Because I was started showing him people record deals. He'd be like, damn, that's what they making. I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you see like some people from record deals, they jump from another record company to another record company because they know they're getting jerked. I think Meek Mills just left Rick Ross.
it's better. Now Meek Mills is a personality. They already know who he is. He can do it
Yeah.
himself. He can do it himself. So
Mm-hmm.
Stephen A. Snitch is in a position where you got the money, and I don't know what your bills look like, but everyone knows who you are. You got the money. All right. People know who you are. And if you just pop up, if you get an isolated deal on satellite radio, or you could come here to YouTube and get
Mm-hmm.
traffic over there, and you might hurt a little bit in the pockets where you're not used to. Okay, fine. You're getting 8 million a year. Now you're making 2 million a year. You have enough. Uh, 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 you have enough drive. You have enough traffic. You'll have enough drive. You have enough traffic. You have enough of a core following where people are going to follow you regardless of where you go because they like
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Especially the people that think that everyone from New York talks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and where you could attempt to discuss the issues within our community. Because right now, I ain't feeling you, brother. I'm not feeling you. We
Yeah.
don't need to. you tried to bully Kwame Brown and justify it by showing pictures of him missing free throws. You're trolling, dude.
Yep.
You're a 50-year-old man and you trolling. You turned into a troll. Are you serious, dude?
Behind the
But Kwame got
paywall.
you back. Yeah.
He did it on ESPN Plus. Not like he did it on his show. He said on First Take, check my show out on ESPN Plus. Me replying back to Kwame Brown, and that's what he reply was.
You know what, dude? Man. July 24th, stay out of Vegas, man. Well, I'm not telling you stay away from there. You gotta go because that'll be part of your job. But don't think you're gonna walk into the bomb squad camp and not get screamed on. All right, because you just pulled the D move, man.
Yeah.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. And people are not laughing with you. They're
No.
not. They're
No.
not. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. Now
And,
again, Captain Jack patched it up, but whatever.
and he got to be careful because ESPN is losing a lot of viewership.
Hmm.
They're losing a lot of viewership.
They are. They are. And you know where they're turning to? Social media. They're turning to YouTube.
Yeah.
Nobody goes there for boxing information. I can tell you that off the bat because you know why? I'm gonna give you an example.
I
Why
know I
you say
don't.
they're losing viewership? They're losing viewership. You know why? Because I'll give you an example. Tyson Fury said August 14th, him, Anthony Joshua, 2-fight deal. First fight will be held in Saudi Arabia, August 14th.
Hmm.
ESPN reported it. I got trolled heavy because they said, "Oh, aha," the haters. They said, "Oh man, yeah, you thought that Wilder was going to get his third fight, and he's not having it, and good for you, and you should close your channel." I said, "Okay." That was on a Sunday. He said that. That Monday, I got the phone call. I got the phone call. Guess what? What? D1 arbitration. I said, Tay, I'll call you back. And I went live. You could check my page. I went live right before I went to the grocery store. I'm standing in front of the grocery store doing the live stream, told my, yo, what y'all haters got to say now? And what did ESPN do? They backtracked on that situation.
Yep.
The leader in sports backtracked off of that. And they said, no, that wasn't us. That was him. We only put that because he said it. Well, you know what? There's something called research. You got a bunch of sports journalists there.
Yeah.
When Tyson Fury put it out on his social media that the fight was done and it's actually happening, what y'all should have done was had one of your people that you pay call him up on the phone and says, give me the lowdown. You spoke to an Arabian prince and he guaranteed you it's going to be done. When are you starting camp? And start asking questions. And I'm sure once you start asking questions, you'll find out whether it's real or not. What's the
Hmm.
numbers? What's the split? What's going on? Because I need to put this on paper if it's real. And if I
Yep.
can't get a definite, I'm not going to put it on my network. That can cost me my job. Y'all didn't do that. Y'all just reported what you said. And guess what happened that next day? It bit y'all in the behind. You understand? That's the
Yep.
difference between old media and new media. I had to deal with people saying, but ESPN said, but BoxRec said online. But I said, no, no, no. I said it's not going to happen because I talked to the camp.
Yeah.
And I was right. Am I ESPN? No. Am I Stephen A. Snitch? No. Am I Skip Brainless on the other train wreck? No. But I know what I know. I knew it wasn't happening.
Hmm.
So ESPN is losing viewership
Yeah.
because they're doing things that are irresponsible. All
Yep.
right. They just need to talk to their employee, Stephen A. Snitch, and say, yo, look back off, man. We're getting a lot of bad press dealing with you.
Hmm.
Shut up. We're losing viewership and you're not helping. Shut up.
Yep.
Just shuck and dive like we pay you to. But you out here, you're not talking about Rosberger still having a job. You haven't talking about this other clown still having a job. You're not talking about why Kaepernick ain't got a job.
Yep.
But you're bullying Kwame Brown, who's been out of the NBA God knows how long and been off the radar God knows how long.
Hmm.
You make time to do that, brother, right? Stephen A. Snitch, man, get out of here, man.
It's a
You
clown, yo.
guys,
It's a clown.
clown.
What do you think the NBA should start doing with these fans? Because
Um,
I think from what I see, it was four incidents. I know John Morant's father came out and said, playing in Utah, he said a whole bunch of racial stuff was going thrown at John Morant. Um, Trey Young, he got spit on at the Garden
yeah.
by a black dude too. I was like, damn, Then who else happened? Um, in Philly, Russell Westbrook, they threw popcorn at him when he
I
got
saw that.
injured. Then the new one is Kyrie Irving got a bottle thrown at him
You
in
know what?
Boston.
When you don't check certain things, they become the norm.
Yeah.
And I thought that after that Detroit Pistons, Indiana Pacers riot with Ron Artest and
Mm-hmm.
Ben Wallace and all those guys years ago, I thought that they were going to check that. And I thought that right there would check everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Um, but these little incidents, they're too close together, and fans are getting a little too ballsy, and they
Yeah.
feeling themselves becoming normalized. Like, for instance, for example, I used to be in law enforcement. Jaywalking.
Mm-hmm.
I live in New York. You would be the dumbest cop in the world to write a jaywalking ticket. I mean, it's a violation, but it's like, why? You know
Yeah.
why? Everybody does it. Nobody uses the damn crosswalk. Everybody does it. And but I went to LA a few years ago, and I saw a store that I wanted to go to, and I just ran across the street. In the middle of the street, I noticed everybody's at the crosswalk but me. But I'm like, you know how you do something you don't realize that, hey, I'm the only person. Eh.
Yeah.
When I got across the street, don't ask me where this cop came from. He fell out the sky. He said, hey. I'm like, hey, LAPD, what's up? He says, say that again. I'm like, oh God, here we go. I didn't say anything. I said, hey, I don't know what happened. He said, no, I'm listening to how you talk. He said, you ain't from out here, aren't you? I said, no, nope, I'm from New York. He said, okay, let me tell you how this works. Jaywalking is serious out here. You notice you was the only person in the street. And I know that because when I was
Yeah.
halfway across the street, I said, I'm the only person doing this. Everyone's at the crosswalk. He said, we get a lot of guys from out east that come, they do that. He said, but we will write you a summons out here for jaywalking. It's serious. We take it serious. I said, yes, sir. You don't play with LAPD. I was like, okay. And now, but out here in New York, it's normalized
Yeah.
because everybody does it. It's a
Yep.
violation. It's so much to the point where if a cop wants to write you a ticket for littering or jaywalking, it's like, hey man, why are you writing that? Well, it's a violation, but no one writes that. He's doing it, no, but I caught you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So these incidents is they're becoming normalized. So what your question is, what should the league do when they catch people doing that? You should give them the stiffest penalty as it as you can give as it pertains to the city that the violation takes place in.
Yeah.
Find out what it is, and uh, um, punish them to the highest extent. If it's punishable by six figures, because you understand these guys are an investment to these teams. These guys are millionaires running around on this floor.
Yeah.
The league pays these guys millions of dollars to do a job. Now, this might sound petty, but understand the guy that threw popcorn at Russell Westbrook. What if a kernel got into his eye somehow and cut his eye? Think about this.
Yeah.
What if someone threw, I don't know, this is gonna sound crazy, but this is real. What if somebody threw something with peanut butter on a player, and the player has a serious bad peanut butter allergy, and he breaks out and he can't, these kids miss games off for hangnails. Oh, someone from the audience threw a peanut butter Reese's cup and I wiped it off and it got on my skin and I broke out. Now I gotta miss a week.
Yep.
You know, this is an investment. And now what's the league gonna say? Well, who the hell threw the peanut butter? You understand? You
Mm-hmm.
remember what happened at Giant Stadium a few years ago, where they were throwing the ice slush at the
Oh
at
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
ref,
yeah, yeah.
it hit the ref, and the ref got seriously injured, and they put
Mm-hmm.
the guy, the white guy from, I think he was from Jersey, no, he's from Long Island somewhere, I think, and they had him on the front, the back page of the sports section, and made him out to be a criminal. He had to get lawyers and everything. And they said,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, I was throwing ice, but I'm not even the one that hit the ref." So what? They made an example out of him. Now
Yep.
they don't throw no ice no more.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see, it's either that or all 6'6" of Russell Westbrook running up there and kicking that guy's behind, and then he'd be wrong. And then you got some people that are stuntmen. Hey
Yeah.
man, I'll take a bunch of punches from a pro athlete if it means I'm gonna get $2 million.
Yep.
You understand? So what the league needs to do is as it pertains to wherever the city is, wherever it happens, find out what it is, punish them, arrest them, and
Yep.
fine them, and then give them a lifetime ban.
Yep.
Arrest them, fine them, and give them, because what they're doing. Imagine, you know what the NBA is.
Sad.
I own a team.
Mm-hmm.
I draft you, and I give you a Bentley, and somebody comes and scratches the damn Bentley purposely. What am I gonna do? I gave it to you,
Yeah.
but you're an investment. You're my investment, and I gave that to you. They're gonna cut up your Bentley. I mean, how are we gonna fix that? How are we gonna fix that? You got to arrest the fool that did that.
Yeah.
All of these athletes are $1 million athletes. They're not punching bags, throwing a bottle at somebody. Now, all of that's happening, but Stephen A. Snitch is going to say, nah, that's not racism, Kyrie. You can't talk bad about Boston. What are you talking about, dude?
Mm-hmm.
What we're talking about here is what you should be. The athletes need to be protected. They're being paid millions of dollars to dribble a ball.
Yeah.
All right, not to get water dumped on them. It's bad enough. I've been on the first row on some games, and the stuff that people, I mean, God, the stuff that they hurl at these athletes. Sometimes you'll see them look like, who's doing that?
Yeah.
It ain't that serious. So I think the league needs to step it up. Um, Arrest them, fine them, and give them a lifetime ban. They say, you know what, you can't go to any NBA game ever again. And
Anywhere.
you do that a few times, and I'm gonna tell you, once you get the season pass holders and you can't get your money back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, I got arrested that night. All I did was throw a little popcorn. Yeah, but yeah. The guy, he's a bench player. He missed 2 free throws. I got mad, so I threw a little popcorn. They got on him, but it touched him. Do you know, like how when a fight breaks out on the court, they have that rule
Yep.
where you can't get on the floor? I saw them when a fight broke out. When they just started that rule, a player just stood up and his foot was over the line. They suspended him for 2 games.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it got. They need to get ass crazy with the seat holders that think that they can do whatever the hell they want to these $1 million athletes, knowing that these athletes will kick their behind if they weren't restrained.
Yep.
So Westbrook showed a lot of restraint. So I say arrest them, escort them out, put the braces on them, fine them. If it's not going to be double figures, make it 6 figures.
Yeah.
And they give them a lifetime ban. You can't attend any NBA games at all. No exception to the rule. And if you get some season pass holders involved in that, take that away from them.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, that'll set the tone for everything. You won't see it no more. Hit them in the pockets.
That's what everything in life. Hit them in the pockets.
Yep.
Hit them in the pockets.
Absolutely.
All right. So I want to wrap this up with it's 1 year since George Floyd died, right?
Yeah.
What do you think happens as far as like did we get anything out of it as a people, or you think everything was just like all hoopla as far as like they just they just put some stuff out there, they're like, all right, this is what we're gonna do for y'all for now until y'all forget about it. And how do you feel about like where things are going after he passed away?
There's a lynching bill sitting on the desk of Congress right now that ain't been signed. But the Asians got a bill passed within the year because people look at them wrong.
Yep.
That's my response.
And I want to bring this up. Do you think when it comes to police killings, do you think certain people that they kill is put in the forefront because it could be, I guess it could be combated with conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody dig up that person past, they could say, "Oh well, this person should have been this or this person should have been that." I noticed that every time there's a police killing out there, there's always a criminal history where they could bring up about this person. Have you noticed that? Or nah.
No, that's real.
Yeah,
That's
because
real.
like, all right, say for the last year we had George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Jacob Blake got shot. He didn't die; he just got shot. But all
Mm-hmm.
three of them have a situation. You're like, all right, you know, George Floyd they said had a drug problem. His own girlfriend said that they They had a drug issue. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend was into selling drugs. That's why they had the warrant for the arrest. Then Jacob Blake, he got the police got called on him because the girlfriend that he used to deal with got a order of protection against him. So it's like those type of things that just always prolong. And why is it those are the cases that come out? You know what I'm saying? Like if you for law enforcement, you can make a combat like, well, he shouldn't have did this, he shouldn't have did that. If you're against law enforcement, it's like they trying to make people combine and not going to solve the issue because they always put people out there that basically just I don't know. They could just
Derek Chauvin had several CCRBs.
yeah.
CCRB is a Community Complaint Review Board. Well,
Hmm.
that's what they call them out here at NYPD. He had several of those. So he had basically a criminal background, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
He had dirt. A lot of these cops, when you do the background on them, they never clean.
Yeah,
A lot of them. And
like
it
the
doesn't
dude from
matter.
New York with the with Eric Garner. That
Yeah,
cop.
he had
Yeah,
he it was no when you do the homework, I'll take it back even further. Y'all remember Luima when he had the
yep,
nightstick stuff, the plunger or whatever shoved up his behind?
yeah.
When I was in the academy, they spoke on the cop that actually did that. And you know what we found out?
Sad.
He was a problem in the academy.
Mm,
He was a problem in the academy. And a lot of people that knew him, they said he should have never even graduated.
damn,
He was a problem in the academy. And I had
damn.
sergeants and lieutenants that taught courses on what they call behavioral science.
Mm.
Well, they merged it. There was police science, behavioral science, and law and then physical training, but they merged PS and behavioral science. We called it BS. Long story. PS, BS. They merged it. They merged the two, and they you found out that this guy was a problem. A lot of the cops that did get into trouble, they had a history of being in trouble, and they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Why am I bringing that up? Because a lot of these officers, you find if you dig deep on them, they got some crap with them too.
See, that's
So the door
crazy.
swings both ways.
So,
The door swings both ways.
so it's a crazy perfect storm. Like you got officers who shouldn't be officers like Chauvin, and you
Yep.
got a situation where George Floyd is going through what he's going through at the time, and it's a perfect storm. Like boom, that happens. You know what I'm saying? Then George Floyd dies, and I don't like how the politicians using George Floyd death. Like like I think Nancy Pelosi said that what his death was a sacrifice for like justice or something like
You
that.
know what's bad? You know what's bad? It's
Then
a
also,
tragic.
not to cut you off, I think Joe Biden said his death have a bigger impact than Martin Luther King's.
You know what? It's like you look at the situation, and at one hand, you say, okay, the important part of Congress is on our side, kinda.
Hmm.
You try not to contradict what they're saying, and you're like, yeah, oh man, they're on our side, but they're saying it all wrong, man. But then again, are they? Because they've been around longer than us. They should know better than to say certain things. Like when Joe Biden said, "Yo, look, if you're black, you got to vote for me." Remember
Yeah,
that? Remember he said something?
yeah,
I'm like, dogs, what you talking about? Like we don't know about you, whatever, man. But I mean, look, leave it to them to always get us effed up, as we say it. They got us
yeah,
effed up. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I'm not surprised every time a black man gets shot. I had a big old debate with Paulie Malignaggi on Instagram over the Aubrey shooting.
Hmm.
He blamed him for his death. How do you blame himself? He says, yeah, man, he was trespassing and he was jogging. Who jogs in khaki pants? I'm a boxer. I never jogged in khaki pants. I said, Paulie, you live in New York. You see people running in the weirdest of attire. What are you talking about?
Hmm.
And what do you mean he's trespassing? Down south, you can, in an unfinished house, you can walk in it and view the property because you might be looking to purchase it.
Yep.
And I don't want to get into the whole conversation, but I exposed him for the racist that he's an Italian kid out of Brooklyn. I exposed him for the racist that he is. But meanwhile, he loves hip hop and wore cornrows in many of his fights. You love us, but you hate us, but you can't be us because you're not blessed. But
Yeah.
that's another topic. But that's the name of the game. They tried to drag his name through the dirt.
Yep.
Those guys murdered him in cold blood. Okay, we didn't see the taped shooting until a month later.
Mm-hmm.
The tape was old by the time we saw it.
Because they try to hide it.
Okay.
I think they try to hide it because like
Yeah, they
the
were
guy
trying to
was
hide it
connected to the
because
police,
the
whatever.
guy was connected to the police department.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And those are that guy was, they took still pictures of him at a Klan rally. So you really can't tell me anything about this. But what did they do? Oh, he got arrested. He had a run-in with a couple of cops. Okay. How many black people have had run-ins with police where we had nothing to do with it? Before I was on the job, I can't tell you how many times I had a run-in with a cop, and I don't have a criminal record. I
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything. You know what my crime was? Walking around New York as a black kid, because I fit the description of someone that did something some freaking where.
Yep.
I got tossed on Sheridan Avenue, leaving my girl's house at 2 a.m. I got tossed from her building to the corner. A cop, when I say tossed, I mean stop, question, and frisk. That's what
Yeah.
we used to call it. On the corner of Sheridan and 167, turned up the block, made the right, almost got to the D train, got tossed again by some DTs. What are you doing? Where you going? What are you doing? Where you going? Where you live? You live kind of far. What are you doing? Then I got downstairs, dropped the token. Remember tokens? I dropped
Yeah.
the token, got inside, waiting for the train. Some more cops tossed me.
Damn.
What you doing? Where you going? I'm like, yo, bro, this is 6 of y'all now, man. I said, I just left. I said, yo, I have it rehearsed in my head now, man. Come on, man. What the hell? I'm telling you the same thing that I just told your partners upstairs and your partners are up the block, man. So that's what it's like.
Yeah.
And white people can't understand what that's like. Now, I bet you if I caught an attitude, say, yo, look, come on, man, y'all need to get the F out my face, man. It's the third time in under 10 minutes, man. Y'all gonna make me miss the train? What's going on with y'all? Oh, what are you doing? You getting a little hostile. What's going on with you? And then it escalated.
Yep.
And then if something got funky, the first thing it would have did is find out what I did wrong. At that time, or what, I cut a little school,
Mm-hmm.
but they'd have made me wrong. You understand?
Yeah.
And this is just absurd at this point. All right, we're getting shot dead in the street,
Mm-hmm.
and it's never stopped since the 60s. It's never stopped. So it's a sad state of affairs that we're always the villain.
Yep.
What have we learned since George Floyd? Well, we learned what we always knew. It don't take 4 cops, grown men, to kneel on a man that it's already handcuffed face down. Let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
something. Everyone who's watching this, lay on the floor, face down, and put your hands behind your back. Try to get up.
You're not.
You can't get up. The only person I've seen get up, she was a gymnast.
Mm.
And that's one in a million. You're not a resting gymnast. When you have your hands behind your back and you're on the floor, you cannot get up. And when you're going through trouble to try and get up, the officer can just nudge you with his foot. You're not
Yeah.
gonna get up, man. That man Chauvin, he killed him because he wanted to. But that knee was negotiable by way of the law. But Kaepernick's knee is unacceptable and un-American.
Yeah.
Shout out to USA. Right. Right.
You ended like that. I like that. That's a good ending right there. See, that's why I hit you up, Drew. Drew, you do this. He does this.
No doubt, man. I am who I am, brother. No diggity doubt, man.
I appreciate
So
that,
yeah,
man. I
no
gotta try
doubt,
to figure out
family.
something to eat. Like I said, I just got
No
back
doubt.
home.
Yeah, my wife texted me, asked me when I'm gonna be finished. So
Okay.
yeah,
All
you
right,
know.
bet. So yeah, I'll wrap this up, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. And I'll put in the description box ways you can reach and find Drew Titan on Instagram, YouTube. That's all you want, right? You on Facebook?
Yeah. Nah, I closed my Facebook account. That's the Wild Wild West. I don't want no part of that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. I think I might close it too. Like I don't.
I have no business on Facebook, man. It's too
Yeah.
open.
Mhm.
Instagram, I have control. I can see. And if your account is private, I'm not going to accept your friend request.
Oh,
I have a lot of trust.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to see that you're a real person, pictures of your
Mhm.
family, whatever the hell it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right, bet. See, I
Instagram and YouTube.
put all that in the description box below.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys watching this, and until next time, man. See y'all later. Peace. Thanks, Drew. I appreciate you.
No problem, fam. Anytime.
All right.